One day, when Yeshua saw the large crowds that followed him, he climbed the slope of a nearby hill, and he sat with his students. And when everyone was gathered in front of him, he spoke to them and began teaching them. Anyone whose spiritual life has become destitute will be enriched by experiencing the reign of Yahovah. And when you wait on God, you will live in joy, because you will find what you long for. Your gentleness will lead to a life of triumph and delight, because you will enjoy your own part of the land. To desire what is right and just will bring you great joy, and in that joy you will feel satisfied. When you show compassion towards others, your happiness will grow, because you will also be shown compassion. If you have a clean heart, then you will have a blissful life, because with each passing day you will see more and more of the beauty of God. If you live to make peace with others, you will be overjoyed, because it is then that people will see you as a true child of God. You will indeed feel complete happiness when you are treated violently for doing what is right, because it is then that you will truly experience the reign of Yahovah. And when people abuse you and treat you violently and say all kinds of evil lies about you because you believe in me, then your life will be even more enriched and joyful. Celebrate in triumph, because your reward is vast in heaven, and you are in good company. Even the spokesmen of God who lived long ago were also abused like this. You are the seasoning that lets the world taste God's goodness. But if you become bland and tasteless, like bad salt, then how will people taste God? And you yourselves will no longer be useful. And just like that bad salt, you will be thrown out to be walked on by the people. Your lives give God's light to the world. You can't hide a city that's built on top of a mountain. Who would light a candle and then put it where you can't see it or use it? No one would do that. They would put the lamp up high on a pedestal so that it can give light to everyone in the house. So in the same way, you should let your light from God shine for everyone so that they can see the good things you do and the good life you live, and then they will give honor to your Father in heaven. Don't think that I came to demolish what is written in the law or by the spokesman of God. I didn't come to demolish it, but to finish it and make it all come true. I tell you with absolute certainty that as long as heaven and earth remain, there won't be even one letter or one punctuation mark removed from the words written in the law until its purpose is achieved. So whoever violates even the smallest commandments and teaches others to do the same will be called the smallest in the reign of Yahovah. But everyone who obeys them and teaches their truths to others will be called great in the reign of Yahovah. You must understand that unless you are able to follow the commandments far better than the lawyers and the strict traditionalists, you won't be able to enter the reign of Yahovah. Here are some examples. You've heard what was said a long time ago. Don't murder. And if you do murder, you will be judged and condemned. But let me tell you that if you hold anger in your heart toward your brother for no reason, you will be judged and condemned. Also, anyone who shouts insults at his brother will be condemned in front of the assembly, and anyone who shouts curses at his brother will be in danger of being condemned to the pit of fire. So if you are ready to bring your offering to the altar at the temple, and then you suddenly remember that your brother is holding a grudge against you, stop what you're doing. Leave your offering there and go and try to reconcile with your brother. It's only then that you can come back and bring your offering. In the case of lawsuits, it's always better to settle these matters with your opponent quickly before even you arrive at court. Try to become friends with him, because if you don't, he will bring you to the judge, who will send you to the tax collector, and he will throw you into prison. And believe me, you won't see the light of day until you have paid every last debt in full. And again, you know what the law says. You won't engage in adultery. But let me be clear. Even if you look at a woman with impure desire for her, you have engaged in adultery with her in your heart. Just so you understand. If your right eye is causing you to have impure desires, rip it out of your head and throw it far away from you. Do you think this is extreme? Don't you think it's better if you just lose one of your eyes rather than having everything you are fall into the abyss? Similarly, if your right hand is causing you to stumble and fail, ask God to make it go limp and useless. Don't you think it would be better to lose the use of your hand than to lose everything you are in the abyss? And yet another example. You all know what was said. If you divorce your wife, you should also provide her with the legal document releasing her from you. But this is what I have to say about it. Anyone who divorces his wife, other than in the case of prostitution, he causes her to engage in adultery. And if any man marries that woman who was divorced, is also engaging in adultery. Also, you have heard what the ancients said. Don't swear an oath that you don't intend to keep. But if you swear an oath, make sure that you complete it for Yahuwah. But this is what I say. You should absolutely never swear at all. Don't swear by heaven, because that's God's throne. Also, don't swear by the earth, because it's the stool where he rests his feet. And never swear by Jerusalem, because it's the city of the great king. Also, never swear by your head, because you have absolutely no control over even something as simple as the color of your hair. Instead of all this swearing, you should simply make statements such as yes and no, because anything more than that is from the evil one. And you all know this one well. Take an eye in exchange for an eye, and a tooth in exchange for a tooth. But this is what I say. You should never repay one evil act for another. For example, if someone insults you by slapping you on your right cheek, then turn your left cheek to them as well. And if someone wants to sue you to take your coat, give him the shirt off your back as well. And if someone asks you to walk with him for 1 mile, walk with him for 2 miles. And if anyone asks you for something, do everything you can to give it to them. Don't hold on too tightly to your possessions. If someone wants to borrow something from you, let him borrow it. And again, they said long ago, love your friends and hate your enemies. But I say that we should love our enemies, and if they curse you, work all the harder to make them happy and bring them joy. Do everything in your power to help them. Talk to God for those who forcibly take you to be beaten. If you will do this, you will become the Father's children. Don't you understand? His sun rises on the good people just like it does on the evil people. And his rain falls on the just people just as it falls on the unjust people. If you are only able to love the people who also love you, what good is that? Tax collectors are even able to do that. And if you only ask God to bring peace to your friends, what's so great about that? Even pagans are able to do that. So try to follow these commandments in this more perfect way, because your God is perfect.